Hi everyone, welcome back to Storytime Recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the film from 2008, Blindness. Without any further, let's get started. The film opens with a young man going to work unexpectedly losing his vision during a traffic stop. When the light changes to green and the man is stuck in his car, drivers behind him start honking at him. Soon after, the man is approached by some worried city people who find out that he has lost his vision.
It's like something's flooding my apartment, and my wife...
A good Samaritan offers to transport the man home in order to aid with traffic clearing.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Right.
As they make their way to his flat, the blind guy recalls his sudden affliction as a sea of bright white, as if he were swimming in milk. They eventually reach the blind guy's fancy apartment, but as soon as the blind guy exits it, the rescuer takes off with his car. When she gets home later, the blind man's wife is shocked to hear of her husband's condition. She makes the quick decision to take him to a nearby ophthalmologist, who examines his eyes in great detail, but is unable to determine what caused his sudden blindness. For most blind people, everything goes dark, but the blind man mentions seeing white. The man is referred to a hospital by the doctor. In the meantime, the thief of the blind man's car collides with a police officer and, fearing capture, illegally changes lanes and leaves the vehicle. But before he can escape, the man receives his karma and suddenly becomes blind, like the man he stole from. At home, the doctor informs his wife about the peculiar ailment. After eating the dinner she prepares for him, the doctor stays up late studying the condition.
Okay. Good night.
By the following morning, two more people are afflicted by the illness, a local prostitute who regularly wears dark glasses, and the doctor himself. When the doctor's wife tries to examine his eyes, he pushes her away out of fear that she could get the illness. However, she refuses his attempts to keep her at arm's length and promises she will be safe. In different parts of the city, there is widespread panic as additional people are struck blind.
Call sometime after 9. Yes.
After taking note of the situation, the government sets up a quarantine facility in a nearby asylum. A group of people in hazmat suits show up outside the doctor's house to get him. Concerned about him, the doctor's wife gets into the van with him, while feigning blindness, and goes into isolation with him. The facility has been divided into multiple wards, and each ward must elect a ward captain to represent them and communicate with the outside world.
I want it.
All right.
The first blind man, a woman with dark glasses, a small boy, and a car thief join the doctor in his ward. The car thief's voice is instantly recognized by the first blind man, and an argument starts between them. The doctor basically takes on the position of the ward captain by dismantling them. The blind are taught how to navigate the hallways by the doctor's wife.
Straight.
Her eyesight appears to be unharmed, and she appears to be immune to the fatal illness. The soldiers who guard the asylum become increasingly hostile, and the government refuses to allow in basic medicines, so that a simple infection can become deadly. More blind people join the doctor's ward, including the wife of the first blind man. With the number of infected persons rises quickly. Over time, the same facility becomes overcrowded with people, well exceeding its capacity. Due to overcrowding and government carelessness, the facility's living conditions and hygiene gradually deteriorate. Soon, the floors and walls are covered in feces and dirt, and people's dread and hopelessness grow. Over the availability of food, caused by irregular deliveries, undermines the infected people's morale.
Naked, except for... Is it good, your food?
One day, the doctor's wife runs into an elderly guy. He has an eye patch, who lives in a different ward, but requests to relocate into the doctor's ward. Since the elderly guy has a radio, the doctor's wife permits him to switch wards. The elderly man shares his knowledge of the outside world with the doctor and other residents of his ward, using the radio. He informs them that the sudden blindness, often referred to as white sickness, has become widespread worldwide, with hundreds of new instances being reported daily. The governments around the world held countless seminars and roundtable talks on the situation, but couldn't find a solution. Things rapidly spiraled out of control, and the outside world stopped functioning. One day, while a fresh group of afflicted individuals was being brought to the facility. When a blind man leaves his group, the soldiers shoot him viciously. Panic ensues until other people are killed in the resulting stampede. The next day, a shovel is ruthlessly thrown over the wall enclosing the quarantine facility by the soldiers, and the sick are instructed to bury the bodies of those who were slain the day before.
Okay, warm. Yeah.
When the doctor suggests that they split up the job and bury one person in each ward, the residents of Ward 3 object to the plan and refuse to accept responsibility for strangers. The doctor clashes with their leader, who declares himself as the king of Ward 3.
Any objections?
Over the next few days, the thief who has an infection that makes him unable to walk and learns the truth about the doctor's wife. He confronts her about it and begs her to help him get away so he can receive treatment for his infection. But the doctor's wife tells him he is mistaken about her and dismisses him. Desperate to get the therapy, the burglar tries to escape the facility that night, but predictably he fails and is shot dead. The wife of the doctor believes she is to blame for the thief's death. The doctor informs her that she is already doing everything she can. However, when she insists that she should have disclosed her vision, the doctor becomes upset with her and tells her that she doesn't need to do anything more because she is already behaving like everyone's mother. Everyone is held at gunpoint by the king of Ward 3 and his men, who also seize control of the food that the government provides. He commands everyone to give him their prized belongings in return for meals.
Now, you'll read together, and we'll let you know what you deserve.
The infected grudgingly gave over their valuables, which held sentimental significance, in return for food, which is far less than what they were previously receiving. Moreover, due to frustration of being unable to take care of himself and a feeling of helplessness, the doctor and his wife are still at odds, and after discovering him in distress, the woman with the dark glasses tries to comfort and encourage him. After one thing leads to another, the doctor and the woman end up having sex. They both instantly regret it, but this regret gets worse when they learn that the doctor's wife saw their entire trust. The woman finds out about his wife's vision and apologizes to her. The following day, when the king of Ward 3 demands ladies in exchange for food, people refuse to obey. After 3 days, the doctor's wife goes outside to beg the troops for food, but they tell her that they have already received plenty for the week and that it is the responsibility of the people inside to distribute it. People in need of food start arguing about whether or not to abide by the Ward 3's demands. When they seek the doctor for guidance, he responds that he is not qualified to give it and advises them to follow their own instincts. One by one, the ladies in Ward 3 offer their services to the males. The following day, the men from Ward 3 take the women from Ward 2 to a Ward 3. On his way back, the doctor's wife is taunted by men, which causes her to lose it. After carrying a pair of scissors there, she kills their boss in Ward 3. She confidently tells the men of Ward 3 that they will never be able to identify her before leaving with the women. She tells her husband about the revenge, but he could care less about it. He is more worried about the possible war. When the residents of Wards 1 and to learn of the king of Ward 3's murder, they begin to fear reprisals. As they fortify their wall in anticipation of a potential conflict, the group then talks about surrendering the assassin of Ward 3 leader. When the doctor's wife hears this, she nearly gives up, but the radio man interrupts and advises them to retrieve the food on their own. The group so devises a plan, and in retaliation, one of the girls from Ward 1 enters Ward 3 covertly and sets a chair on fire, allowing Ward 1 to approach Ward 3 armed. But now that the fire has spread to every ward, chaos breaks out. When everyone has gone outside, the doctor's wife shouts out to the guards, but she discovers that nobody is there. She then finds out that the doors are unlocked and everyone finally just leaves the place. As they stroll through the city, they observe the destruction all around them and realize how far society has descended. The streets are filled with blind people, and everything appears gloomy. When they eventually go out to salvage supplies, the doctor tries to convince his wife that he misses her, but she ignores him and stays chilly. After entering a grocery, the wife discovers that every rack is empty and that people are becoming paranoid of hunger. After that, she walks to the basement and discovers a huge pile of food that she hadn't even imagined for a long time. She gathers 2 bags of provisions and heads upstairs. But when the hungry realize she has something, they attack her right away. As the doctor, who is at the door, comes to help her, and the duo runs. Once they get to a secure location, after realizing he left them at the supermarket, the doctor returns to retrieve his clothing. A tired wife watches a pack of dogs consume a dead man. A dog unexpectedly stops by to give her company. As it begins to rain, she goes inside, and the dog follows. The doctor also arrives with his clothes, and after putting on jackets, they head back to their place. Outside, people are seen enjoying the rain and celebrating, even if it is only momentarily. The next day, the group is taken to the doctor's wife's house. Thankfully, no one had broken into their house, and everything appeared to be in order. She then tidies up the disorganized area to let everyone feel at home. Everyone is shown supporting one another there, acting like a large family.
Just tell me and I'll just wander.
The 3 women later take a tour where they are laughing and enjoying the experience. The doctor's wife describes the women to themselves, as they haven't seen themselves in a long while. That same night, the radio man shares how happy he is to have met so many nice people during these difficult moments. He goes on to add that they can coexist in this way for a very long time.
Listening?
During dinner, as the doctor's wife joyfully explains the products and their places on the table, the party cheers awkwardly and laughs. That night, the doctor eventually makes love to his wife, and he confesses his love for her. The next morning, after waking up early, the doctor's wife makes her special coffee for everyone.
Honey, there's not much food left.
The first man abruptly begins to see everything around him. Feeling both shocked and delighted, he declares that everything is extremely lovely. He then joyfully greets everyone in the house. Everyone is excited about the new discovery and believes that their sight will return soon.
The first to go blind, so the celebration was not
Thanks for watching, and remember to turn on your notifications to watch more movie recaps like this one.